welcome this morning to the Rise and Shine morning practice. Today we are in practice number 60 and number 40 in the victim series. And we're talking about the mechanics of somatics. So we're looking at how does an experience, if you're thinking about somatics, that means like the aliveness of an experience and how it moves through my body, my soma. I'm making room for and noticing how does that come alive in my system, and can I track and pay attention to how it moves. For the somatic practice, when we are doing that, we are actually making room to be changed by experience rather than trying to fight and contrive and control and all the other things that we're really taught how to do. So in this practice, you're learning how to let it move you and let it change you. Excuse me, I might sneeze. As it molds you and prepares you for your purpose. So let's go ahead and begin our time together in the same way that we begin all of our moments of conscious awareness, and that is to first pause and take a moment to notice how you are connected to, excuse me, and supported by the place where you are seated. Let's turn our attention inward and notice how we are held by our seats. And as we are noticing that, we want to take a moment to notice which part of your body feels the most held by your seat. You want to write that down into your journal. And we're also drawing that onto our body diagram. I'm saying this quality of support, it belongs to me. This is God's living gift to me today. This quality of support belongs to me. You're letting your brain see that, and then you're giving your body a minute to take that in, to rest into that. And as you are resting into that a little bit more with each exhale, you want to notice, what does that quality of support feel like? So first we're arriving with superficially how we are connected physically. And then as I'm resting into that, then I can actually experience the intimacy of that connection, where I can actually experience the relationship of how I am supported. What is it giving me? What does that quality of support feel like? Notice the word or the image that comes to you. And as you are noticing that, you're allowing your brain to see that as well. You're saying, here is this quality of support, and this belongs to me. This is God's intimate living gift to me. And with each exhale, you are, to the best of your capacity, you're resting into it a little bit more and into it a little bit more. And then from that place, as we are held in that way, it prepares us to be in relationship with the experience that is going to reform us, with the experience that's going to change us. And the way that we notice that, like every day, we're going to have challenges, and these challenges are coming in with a very alive, chaotic intensity. And that intensity, as I allow my system to receive that, held in the support the divine is providing me, my body is able to safely and calmly and with clarity be changed, be reformed, and to meet the peace and the grace of Christ inside my system. And so right now we're in a series where we're talking about number one, our victimization perspective frame, and number two, our reactivity. Both of those things are going to be very alive in our system, most likely almost every day, because we're coming into contact with all kinds of things in our day. And so we're looking at our reactivity. Take a moment and think about something that you are reactive to right now, today, yesterday, the day before. Notice what stands out for you. And as you're noticing how you are reactive, we want to take a moment to notice, what does that feel like? Can you experience how you feel that rising up in your system, in your experience, and where do you feel that rising up? And today we're going to be working with, what does that feel like in my, how does my breath, how does my breathing respond to this reactivity? How does my breathing respond to this activity? So go down to 3, 4, the 5th section in your little worksheet, where it says my breathing responds to this challenge or to this reactivity. So I have 3 different things that I can feel that I'm reactive to right now. And I'm noticing how they are different, how they show up differently in how I am breathing. So as we notice how our reactivity shows up, we're going to take a moment and make room for it. So the first thing we're going to do is, again, refresh our awareness of how we are supported by the place where we are seated. And with each exhale, we're slowing it way, way, way down. And to the best of our capacity, we're allowing our system to rest into the support. And then we're going to lean back. And then slowly lean forward. Staying connected to your support. And making room for your experience of the reactivity. So with your lungs, you can go a few different ways. I'm going to open up the mic here. With your lungs, you can go into collapse, like you just can't breathe, or I've had many times where I'm just apathetic, like I don't even care that I'm not breathing. I don't want to breathe. I want to disappear. I can also disappear. I can just kind of be out of myself. I can also have my breath compressed really tightly. or I can have like an anxious breath, or I can have a normal connected breath. Notice which way you go. What do you notice, participant who's here with me live? Which one of those stand out for you for your reactivity? Which breath pattern?
I wrote down depressed, restricted, or forced. Like, I just noticed I'm breathing less,
Yeah.
and then I have to force myself to take a full breath. That makes sense.
So when we get into the different positions of movement for our breath, what we want to do is I can feel inside there's like a tightness, or I don't really feel it. I could be numb. If it's depressed, it could be like a numbness I don't feel, or like a overwhelmed type of thing. So I want to be able to slow down enough where when I'm coming back, if I'm sitting in a chair that has a back to it, that I take my time for my lungs to feel the back of the chair and also to feel my hands. So I might be here for 2 or 3 minutes as my nervous system becomes aware of the fact that there is support here. I don't want to try to get my lungs to work. My lungs are going to be experiencing their aliveness of the reactivity. So it's going to be a tightness or a disappearing or a moving away or a forcing. I want to let that be exactly what it is. And as I hold it and I'm feeling how my body is supported, then something else can begin to happen. I'm letting the aliveness of the force, if it wants to tighten, I want to let it tighten a little bit more while it's being supported. If it's numb or disappeared, I want to let it be numb or disappeared while it's supported. I want to let my brain actually see which direction it's going and make room for that and allow it, which is hard. So the feeling the emotion and the sensation is hard because it's uncomfortable. This is hard, allowing the breath pattern to do what it's actually doing, because sometimes it feels like we're going to die. It feels like I'm going to be choked out. What I want my brain to be able to recognize is how I can still breathe. There's been times that I've been so anxious or so overwhelmed that I feel like I can only breathe through like a tenth of one of my nostrils. Like I have just one of my nostrils up. And I have to, in that moment, feel what is working. Here, I still have breath coming in. It's very small. I can still breathe here. And then watch what begins to happen in your system as you're able to be with exactly whatever direction it's taking you. So we're going to move into these positions really slow, and let's just see what begins to unfold. And notice what happens as you slow it down and you're just allowing the breath to be supported in whatever direction it's going. And what do you notice happening as you are making room for how your breathing becomes challenged? You can look back at that initial experience and notice, how does it change? What does your quality of support feel like now as you are staying with it? And what does the reactivity feel like now as we make room for it? So think about what we're trying to do. Think about the aliveness of an experience coming to me. So I'll just name one of mine just to give an example. So I have this drawer, this table that I have my coffee maker and all my stuff on, and my microwave. And I went to open the drawer this morning and the drawer does not open at all. And the wood underneath it, because it's an old thing, came down and is blocking, like it's a piece of the wood broke underneath, so I can't get into the drawer. And so I'm like trying to pull, and it is so lodged I can't even get around it to do it. My brain wants to go off into this whole bunch of stuff. My body, I can feel the coming on, like I'm trying to force this, I'm trying to push this. And so when I can feel that, I just take a moment and I put my hand on that power of that aliveness, and I'm letting it move into my system. So I get down onto my knees, I'm feeling the support of my knees and my shins and my feet on the floor, and I'm letting this move. And the more that I let the intensity of that actually move, and I rest into my support, my brain stops looking out here into all these stories and all of this other stuff, and it gets very, very quiet and clear. I open the drawer beneath it. That one is also stuck because there, for whatever reason, the wood is broken in almost all three drawers. And so I'm following it with my hands. Okay, that one's broken. This one I can't get into. Go to the bottom drawer. Can I do that one? It was like I had to follow it all the way down. For whatever reason, the thing had collapsed. It's an old thing. So as I follow it down and I'm staying with it, that rage of not getting what I want in the exact minute that I want it, that rage actually comes down, and it allows me to be clear. It allows me to be connecting with this cabinet, this drawer. So I'm holding it up and opening it, and holding it up and opening it. Then I go and I'm making coffee. So I get my coffee maker grinder out of there, put the beans in there, grind it, go to open it to put in the thing tips off, goes all over my whole floor. And it's the same thing. Another wave of rage comes up, and my brain wants to go into all these stories and identification about what does this mean, and oh, this needs for my day, all this mess. And it's like, watch what happens when I pause and I feel the rising up of that, and I can just hold that and then let it get again very clear in both ways. And I go get a broom, I'm sweeping up the stuff, dump it, and I make more coffee. I could have gone into that being a really bad day, not having time to take my shower, not having time to care for myself because I'm over here throwing a tantrum, because that rage, rather than me being able to be with that reactivity and actually let it come in and actually let it bring me into clarity and a capacity for care for my body, I'm out here doing whatever I would have done in the past. And so what we're trying to feel, because we're going to feel it through our emotional sensory core, is in that moment, I'm going to be hit with another wave of reactivity, another wave of intensity. And I want to stay out of the story of it. And I want to stay in where is this changing me? And what I realize is two other things happen, and this is all happening this morning. Good things happen, challenging things happen, frustrating things happen. And I used to make a lot of stories about all that, rather than just be with how is it changing my system. That rage and how it wants to, I want to push everything away rather than inviting it in and noticing where does it take me. One of the big things that changed for me this morning in having that rising up of these circumstances is that I was sneezing a lot more. I'm still getting over being sick. And it completely cleared my sinuses. So that's interesting, right? Like, how does that work? Like, so the drawer being stuck and the coffee being spilled, and another thing breaking is to actually have a pressure move through my system that is actually going to be a medicine to me, a divine medicine. We will be able to feel these things as we're able to ride these waves and be with it, and let it actually change us. Let it squeeze our physiology while remaining in a place of being connected to divine support that is also right here. If I use this radical slowness and I come down into it, I can do reactivity in slow motion and it's going to heal my physiology. It's going to heal my body in a way that I don't understand. But I didn't break my drawer, because in the past I would have broken that drawer in how it was wedged. I would have brought a hand. I would have been so impatient with it, or gave up and not have my coffee this morning. So when you're looking at your own reactivity, you want to be able to notice which way you go and what happens for your system when you let it be there. I want to notice, how does your mind see the thing that you are being reactive to, and what does your mind say about it? So you're holding how your mind sees it. Notice how you behave. What is your impulse to behave? And if you instead hold that, notice what you become aware of. Hmm. So you're going down through your emotional sensory core, and you're noticing how each of these show up. How do I speak about it when I feel this land in my lungs like this? What's my impulse to behave? What are the emotions that come up? You're going through the full emotional sensory core. And then we're going to go step by step with each one, and we're going to listen to it and listen to what happens as I bring this experience uh, into how I'm held by the divine, into my divine connection. What else am I able to see and feel as I do that? You're writing down the responses that you feel as you are slowing down and holding each of these experiences. In today's reading, we're reading John 4, verses 11 through 13. And Jesus is at the well with the woman from Samaria, and he's saying, talking about the living water and how you will thirst no more. For me, I've been led to experience that this quality of support that we are receiving in each moment is that living water for and embracing and attending to and a caring for the intensity that we feel in our systems. And I'm trusting that and have experienced over and over and over and over again, very densely for a decade, that the living water, it completes and nourishes and cares for and refines the overwhelm and the reactivity and the rage and the depression and all of those things that we are within ourselves, making the space for those two to come together. And with somatics, you can actually track that. You can actually feel, here's my resistance. As I tenderly place my hand around my resistance, I'm not trying to make the resistance go away. I'm naming it, I'm acknowledging it, and I'm allowing it to meet this divine experience of living water, living truth, living life. I'm allowing it to be met in my body. My body is the temple where these two are coming together. The most amazing thing about this, the mechanics of our somatics, is that if I get out of me trying to control the rage, or me trying to control and offer some technique to being with pain or intensity, if I get out of the way of that and I just let it move in the way it's meant to move in my system, it organically knows which way to move, just like when you eat food, the waste organically knows how to come out of your system. You're not over here messing with how to move the waste out of your system. You're not over here messing with how to get your heart to function. I don't have to be messing with any of this stuff as it's coming in. I'm just receiving it. And as I receive it and it's able to meet the divine, there is this organic precision that unfolds that keeps me safe. It's when I think I need to be over here being the garbage collector and getting all this stuff and doing, because I think I understand what this experience is for. I'm not going to understand that until later, until I sit down and really allow myself to experience it and allow myself to be changed by it through the support of being held by the divine. I can't just go in there and let myself be run over by an experience without being very rooted in how the divine is holding me and caring for me and speaking to me and foreshadowing for me and guiding me and directing me so that I can be able to take this in. Because it's intense and I'm not meant to be taking anything in without the support of the divine. So when you look at how your breathing responds, the breathing response is going to come in very quickly, and we're wanting to strength train our capacity to welcome the way in which that get squeezed or turned or dispersed, and let it go through its wave of aliveness so that it can return back to a place of rest. Notice what you're being invited to do today. We want to get our index cards for our day and write on here, what am I being led to do today in a new way as a outcome of today's practice? We want to go ahead and move in that direction now and take care of ourselves in that way, take care of those around us with this same root of support and care. I thank you all for being here this morning. It's my honor to be here with you, and I hope that this will give you some skills today to slow down and really feel, how is my breathing responding to this moment, and can I slow down and care for that and allow it to change me and move me from a place of being supported. I take a moment to bow my head and my heart and my life to my living Creator. I'm saying thank you, God, thank you, Jesus, and thank you, Holy Spirit, for this day and for this opportunity to grow in this deeper way. I also hold space for you to offer thanks to your Creator in the way that is meaningful to your heart. I hope you have a great day, and I look forward to seeing you when it suits your schedule next. Take care.